Tonight, the I-Team's investigating missing and stolen mail, even mail thrown in the trash. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles joining us live with a look at what he's working on for tonight at 10. Jason, tell us about this story.
Well, Rob, we've actually been investigating mail delays and mail complaints, if you can believe it, for about 15 years now. You know, this is something we get constant calls about to the I-Team hotline. People say that their mail is missing or the mail is delayed. About 15 years ago, if you can believe that. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like a lot has changed. In fact, you can see here exactly the opposite has happened. It looks like it's getting worse. Now we're hearing of mail being burned on the grill. We found some mail in a dumpster. There's reports of mail getting thrown out, and you can see this right here. The post office box is being broken into. This is happening in several different suburbs, and tonight at 10 you're going to see all the different suburbs that this has happened to. Of course, all of this contributing to the overall delays and the overall problems of either missing mail, stolen mail, delayed mail. You know, this is something that's really important. We're talking about checks here. We're talking about important things in the mail. Personal information is in the mail. Identity thieves are preying on a lot of these mailboxes, of course, because they are probably looking for checks that they can cash. They're probably looking for social security numbers, birth dates, any kind of personal information. So this is, you know, really serious. And a lot of people, they really still depend on the USPS, and they do depend on it sometimes even for medicine. Now, we do want to say that the post office says that it delivers 150 billion pieces of mail every year, and that overall it is reliable and secure, and you're going to hear more from the post office tonight at 10.
And we've done stories on this many times. Some of these areas who aren't getting their mail, the Postal Service has made changes or said they've made changes. But you mentioned something that kind of grabbed my ear as well. Is some of this stuff just stolen? Like, we don't necessarily think this is all the U.S. Postal Service. There might be some other things going on here.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's something to be very clear about, too, is, you know, delayed mail can sometimes be traced back to a mail carrier, but when we're talking about stolen mail or mail on a grill, we don't necessarily know who did that. I mean, look, it could be a carrier who dumped that mail that we found in tonight's report. We don't know. This is according to a resident, said that the carrier dumped that mail. But when we're talking about overall stolen mail, I mean, that could be anyone. I mean, clearly this is something that scammers are preying on. Anyone in the public, you know, they could be targeting mailboxes. They are clearly targeting these blue post office boxes, and of course they want some of this personal information. So there are things you can do, of course, to check the mail and make sure that you are getting your mail. Yeah.
So someone is watching tonight and they're going to say, I can relate to that, Jason. I'm not getting my mail. It was stolen. What are some quick tips for consumers? And I know you'll talk about this tonight in your report, that are dealing with missing or stolen mail.
Yeah, well, the first thing you could do is obviously pretty easy. You can just report it to USPS. You're going to want to call your local post office. You're also going to want to go directly to your local post office. You can also report this online. Those are easy things to do. I'm sure most people can figure that out, but we're still going to say it anyway. You know, another thing I always tell people to do in these situations, reach out to your local lawmakers. That is what they are there for. Call those state senators, call your aldermen, let them know that this is happening in your neighborhood, because, you know, they can be the voice to the post office and hopefully get some of this fixed. You know, another tip that we found out, and I actually do this as well, is you could sign up for the USPS Informed Delivery. This is something you could easily find online, and you can sign up for this and view all of your mail digitally. So you can actually see what's coming every day to kind of keep track of it and know what's on the way. So if you're looking for that medicine or an important check, this is a good way to keep track of that. And of course, we are going to have lots more tips tonight at 10. We're going to have a bunch more on the website too after the report airs. So you're definitely going to want to tune in and see that.
Right. How about it? And look forward to your report tonight at 10. And if you're watching us streaming right now, we'll post his report tonight later this evening. We'll run it again here. And if you're watching us on our website, as Jason mentioned, we'll put a lot of that information up there. That's first I've heard about that you can digitally track your mail.
Yeah, and you know, we also want to mention there's a new postmaster recently. I think a lot of that's been in the news, and it's interesting. You know, maybe there'll be some changes, so there's hope.
They've said there were. Yeah. Jason, we'll see you at 10. Always a pleasure. Thank you for spending some time with us. We have done so many stories on on people saying, I'm not getting my mail. And he briefly touched on it. People rely on their mail for prescriptions, bills,
medication.
Right. I mean, it's a big deal. And so I'm glad the I-team's looking into it. You know who else you can contact? And he didn't say this, our I-team.
Right.
He said,
Always,
reach out to your
always open.
lawmakers. You can contact the I-team too.
That's why we got all our information tonight.
There you go.
Jason's so helpful always. The advice is so eye-opening and helpful.